Without further ado, I would like to welcome the man of the hour, Kofi to the stage right now. Make some noise for Kofi. I think we ought to get a little bit louder than that. Make some noise for
Kofi, everybody. Thank you. Check. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you, man. How you doing? How's everybody doing?
That's one thing you guys will come to know, that Kofi is always fly.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, I do like it. This is so cool. Yeah. That's you, that's me.
That's me. That's both of us.
They did their thing, man. This is good.
The other kid from Akron, the girl from Cleveland.
There we go. We
nice
here.
Little pair here.
Absolutely.
Kofi, thank you for taking the time to have this fireside chat. We are here in your hometown.
Yeah. We're here.
You have been on a run. Talk to me about how you're feeling.
I feel great, and I'm so excited to do things like this. And just to be back here at the University of Akron for me is huge. I mean, this place, was home for me for about 5 good years. You know, my high school years were spent here as a student at Akron Early College High School. So, to be back here and to just see so many, familiar things, so many familiar places and spaces where I grew up at, and to be here, it's surreal right now.
In that documentary, they call you the other kid from Akron. Mm-hmm. Do you still feel like that, or do you feel like you got this covered, with LeBron being in LA?
No. I would never think that. I think that, when I started saying that when I was in high school, I didn't really think it was going to catch on like it did, but I think it's just more so a testament to the work that I was putting into what I was doing. I never stopped, even since I've been 14 years old. My motor has been running. I haven't stopped doing what I'm doing. Even as a kid, I knew what my focus was, and I wanted to make sure that within that focus, that I was able to really make my city proud of me. So, having that name, the other kid from Akron, was just to show and to really challenge myself to know, like, hey, I know somebody that made it out of here, but I want to be that other person that did it too, so yeah.
And you certainly rose to the challenge. Can you talk to me a little bit about where you are currently? We saw your beginnings at 8 years old, you up preaching at church, performing for your family at home. We see your beautiful family in these photos here,
sure.
Baby Kofi up there.
Yeah.
But talk to us a little bit about what you've been doing before we delve into your past. Catch us up on Kofi today.
Yeah, Kofi today is really just living the dream right now. Honestly, this is the life that I have worked so hard to build. And now we're in a position where we are, developing my production company from that standpoint of creating more content, doing things on social media now. And then also just really trying my best to just also speak more. I want to be able to, not only just pair the music and the things that I'm doing with touring and traveling, but I also want to share my story, because the upbringing to get to this point, in church they always say people see your glory, but they don't know your story. And I feel like it's only right to give people that background before I, show them who I am today, because in order to get here, I had to deal with some things. In order to be able to hold this mic and be here and see these nice faces and these beautiful people here today, I had to do some things. And, I'm excited to dive into it for a little bit.
And you led me right to my next question. We saw in the documentary, we see the glitz, the glamour, the accomplishments, Tamron Hall, an amateur Apollo Night winner. You have accomplished so much, but there's also a dark side to that documentary. Mm-hmm. Why was it important for you to share that piece of your story?
Because you don't have the progress without the pain. And I think that's important to highlight. I think so many times, especially in our generation right now, we like this easy go, easy recipe type solution to success. And that's just not what this world is made of right now. I always say that, today's results is not an expectation of tomorrow's promise. Just because you had a good day today doesn't mean that tomorrow's going to be the best day of your life either. It is a constant journey and a constant battle to always try to be the best version of yourself, but also understanding that life be lifing. And you got to be ready for that. But, I think the more that you equip yourself with the mindset to know that, what your purpose is, before you can do anything else, know what your calling is, know what you're built to do on this earth. And I think when you have that and nobody can take that away from you, then you're setting yourself up for a good future.
You mentioned equipping yourself with the tools to navigate what you were going through. Can you talk to how you did that? I think that your parents divorcing or, your father not being the most encouraging is something that a lot of people can relate to. It's not a story, not a piece of your story that is unique to solely you.
Right.
So what is your advice to someone who may be facing similar obstacles on how you were able to, you know, remain steadfast in pursuit of your passion and what you were called to do?
You know, not only just with my upbringing and not having my father around in my life, I mean, I just naturally, I will never understand people that have never walked in your shoes having the audacity to tell you what your ceiling is.
Right.
You know, for somebody in this world to tell you what you can't accomplish, it is absolutely crazy to me. I mean, I remember even growing up, though, people would always ask me what my dreams and my ambitions were, and I'd begin to express it to them, and then they would tell me that it was just impossible, or maybe you should just, you know, get a plan B, or be an engineer because that's what most black men are. That's what they told me. And I had to switch that impossible into I'm possible, because, you know, when they say you're worthless, I say you're worth it. When statistics deem you stupid, I deem you successful. You know, when society calls me lost and hopeless, I call myself optimistic and ambitious, because the choice is mine. I mean, it's honestly mine, and it's really up to us in this world to choose those choices. The choices are ours, you know. So I don't think that people can really deter the path that I'm on right now, because it's not purposed by them. It's purposed by him. And that's really what it's about right now.
I hope y'all are picking up on these gems that you're dropping. Like, get the notepads out, clear it. Kofi, you should write a book. That should be next on your list.
DJ Lily J got a book, and I was just talking to her about it, so I got to figure out how to get this going for sure.
Absolutely amazing. I want to pull on something that you just said. People having the audacity.
Mm-hmm.
A pivotal point in that documentary for me, and I don't know if it stuck out to any of you, but there was a moment where you talk about what your father said to you, and he said, and you took it as, I can either fold and believe what he's saying,
Mm-hmm.
or I can flourish and achieve your potential.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different level of motivation,
Mm-hmm.
and internalizing that. Have you worked through that, or is that still your motivation for your success?
You're referring to like my father and everything, or just in general?
Motivation in general.
It's always a motivation. I mean, the idea is to wake up every day and be even better today than I was yesterday. I mean, that is it, and that is 100% it. But I'll tell you where it came from. It didn't come from me. It came from that woman that's up there, my mother, who's actually sitting back there, right there.
Make some noise for his mom, everybody.
I want to make sure that people know this publicly, because my mom likes to be behind the scenes. She doesn't like people to ever call her out and everything like that, so that was probably a surprise for her.
We're going to highlight it today.
Absolutely.
Stand up for us one more time. Let's make some noise for his mom.
Whoop, whoop. I mean, when I tell you, being a you know, product of a single parent household and seeing her every day, I mean, every morning before we woke up, she would call me and my two older brothers. She'd be like, Kofi, Kwame, Andre, come here. You know, you never knew if we was in trouble, but she would just yell us, you know, or yell it out like that. But then she'd have us look into this bathroom mirror. And every morning she'd say, Kofi, repeat after me. What I am looking for is in me. The past has no power over me. Negative thoughts have no power over me. Today is a wonderful day and a new beginning because I choose to make it so. And she had to say that, you know, she had to say that. And I still say it before every interview and opportunity. And at that time, I didn't realize why she was saying that, but then it hit me, you know, she knew her purpose, and her purpose was to make sure that it didn't matter how she felt, but if she could have just, you know, have her kids look in a mirror and reflect that hope of strength onto some kids that needed it the most, then maybe we'd listen to what Mama's voice had to say. And I guess I'm a product of that. You know, because so many people in this world will always look around and try to find that inspiration or that person. Oh, I wish I could find that person that could show me how to be successful. And to that person even here that's always looking, I encourage you to get your phone out and put it on that front-facing camera, because that's where your inspiration is right there. I mean, it's in you. And you know, everything that you need, the tools that you're given, it is gifted within you. And if you trust your process, then I think you'll lead yourself to a product or a path to success. So,
trusting your process. Kofi, was there ever a point, you sit up here and you exude confidence.
Thank you.
It is palpable. So
That's
I commend
dope.
you on that, and a testament to your mom and her encouragement with those self-affirmations. But talk to me a little bit about the journey there. Was there ever a wavering point, or have you always just been Kofi, the superstar that we know today?
No.
Talk to me about those moments of doubt.
Well, yeah, I think that doubt is just confirmation that you're dreaming big. For me, I've always believed in what I was capable of doing. And I told you, I'm saying this because honestly, my purpose was always founded. So, I mean, when I started off doing what I was doing, in school, I started playing piano, and I was also excelling academically in elementary school. And that growing up in the hood in Akron, Ohio, that ain't the most popular thing in the world. But I mean, the thing is that I was always getting bullied by kids in school. Everybody was calling me a nerd, and I was ostracized, scrutinized, and it was just something that was so difficult for me. I remember going home to my mom one day, and I was like, you know what, Mom, I got a genius idea. I'm gonna start failing on purpose. Because if I fail on purpose, I'm gonna get F's and I'm gonna fit in with all of my peers and I'm gonna be cool just like them. And I just had this whole talk. And she said, yeah, we gonna get you out of there.
That is not the path we're going down. Absolutely.
So she brought me to the performing arts school that I went to, and that ended up changing my life. Because I was around so many like-minded individuals, and that school, I mean, it really brought something out of me that I didn't expect, and that was that internal creativity, and it confirmed a lot of thing for me. Even remembering one time where we had a group project in our first year, the 4th grade year. I remember the first couple of weeks when I went to Miller South, I kind of knew what I was doing. I was the weird kind of kid. I was banging my head on lockers and stuff. I was a little different. But
let's not bang our head on lockers.
Don't bang your head on lockers. Please don't do that. But I was just really dealing with a tough situation at home. My dad not being around. Family situation was just off, and we had this group project. It was a video project, but it wasn't a group project. It was individually where we had to go home, record a commercial for a fake product, and then show it to school. Now, at school, I was one way, but at home, I was Kofi. I was doing what I do. I was recording myself on cameras and everything like that. And, I filmed this commercial, not thinking anything of it. At that time, we had tape recorders or whatever, the VHSs. I know y'all don't probably use those now, but we plugged them into the TV and played the commercial for the classmates that I had as part of the project, and they had never seen that side of me. Right. I remember one girl saying, now we see who the real Kofi is. At that moment, that clicked for me. I was like, wow, so this is acceptable. Me being myself is okay. Yeah. And I think that was a moment that really helped me understand that, hey, it's cool to be me, that's what I do now.
You mentioned that transition point of when you switched schools, going to the performing arts school, and in the documentary you say that music saved your life. Do you still feel that way?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, people ask me, when did you start music, and how did you get introduced to it? I'm like, listen, music, I didn't choose music. Music chose me. It came into my life at that time when I did need it the most. And I owe everything to that instrument, because I keep the main thing, and that's all another, homage to Bron and his mindset of always just making sure that basketball for him was his vehicle. Music is the same for me. So I'm finding a way to be in rooms now, meeting people, working with so many of my heroes that I grew up idolizing, because I play a piano and because I stayed true to that. When it wasn't cool, I still did it. When it is cool, I'm gonna do it. And that's what it's about. It's about making sure that is really the foundation of everything that I do right now. So yeah, it's always going to be that for me.
Can we get into the nitty-gritty of the piano? Obviously, this is beyond the keys.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about what your practice regimen looks like today.
Today?
How it has evolved over the years.
Oh, okay. I can tell you how it's evolved over the years for sure. I mean, when I first started playing, it was like a full-time job. I was 8 hours a day, wow. And I was just going in. But I was never forced. My mom never forced me. In fact, there was times where my brothers and her had to yell for me to stop playing because I was playing so much. And I just loved doing it.
Was it something that you picked up naturally, or were you literally pinky ring finger, trying to figure it out?
Well, growing pains for sure, but at the time I needed something. So music was that thing. So I had options to do karate. I had options. I was playing baseball. I was not good at either one of those things, but piano was that thing for me. And it was just over time. I remember my first group class that I went to. I absolutely hated it. I thought it was the worst thing in the world because it was I was 8 years old when I started. It was a bunch of 5-year-olds. I'm tall and they small, but they're killing it. They're playing Beethoven and Mozart and everything like that. And I'm like, this ain't for me. So after that class, I got up, I left. But right when I was about to leave, one of the teachers, the assistant teachers, pulled me aside. And she said, hey, talk to my mom, talk to me. Said the head teacher, Trisha Thompson, wants to talk to you because she wants to, take lessons with your son privately. She looked at my hands and she said something that I had never heard before. She said, Kofi, I see something in you. I never heard somebody say that to me in my life. I don't know what you see. I don't know. So for me, in that moment, she must have saw the potential in that purpose. I mean, because it wasn't about doing music. It was just about knowing that I always wanted to entertain people. That's been my goal from the beginning, whether it was me speaking, whether it was me, dancing. I just wanted to bring smiles on faces, make people think, bring out emotions of some sort. And so that's why I think music was that thing for me.
How much do you practice today?
Oh, that was your question, right?
It's okay.
Yeah, I know, right? I just went to a whole different tangent. Now, because I'm touring right now, my bad. You see, you're good.
It's okay. I'm
you're
here
good.
to keep you on track. It's my job. It's okay.
I'm diplomatic right now. Okay. No, honestly, right now I probably can practice about maybe 3 hours a week.
Okay.
Because I don't have the time that I used to. I like to block out my time, I will say that. So, I mean, a lot of things now with content creation and studio sessions and all that stuff, a lot of people don't know, I edit all my videos. Everything that's on social media, I edit it. So I got to take time to do that.
Sure.
I got a
You're
lot.
busy. You're booked and busy. I wasn't trying to discredit you.
No, you're good. I didn't even answer your question at first. That was my fault. I'm over here thinking, man, when I started back when I was 7, 8. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all good. But I mean, Kofi B, the entertainer. I've had the honor of seeing you perform, seeing you engage with an audience, and it truly is it's an experience. Can you talk to me about what your favorite part of performing is today? I know that your style has continued to evolve, but today, Kofi B, the artist, what is your favorite part of performing?
Favorite part of performing for me is, especially now, I love the fact that people are able to see what they saw on their phone screens in real life. Because, sometimes, and that's the thing too, as these content creators are coming out, I mean, there's some people that just cannot translate their experience on their phone into an in-person thing. So right now, I think it's cool. I mean, I do a lot of mashups and transitions on social media with my music. So I'll go from one song that you never even thought was going to go into another song. I think one of them I did, recently I did one where I'm doing Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and then I'm going into I Want to Know by Joe. Two completely things that should not go together that work perfectly in the show. So I love that aspect of doing shows right now because, I mean, there's that element of surprise. I mean, you should see people's faces too. I mean, because when you're on the stage and you get to see other people and they're like, you really went in today, and people's aunties be going crazy and people's mamas be going crazy. I love it, man.
What's the craziest thing that's happened with a fan or supporter? On the spot questions here.
I know what happened.
To keep it authentic.
Yonkers, New York.
Yonkers, okay.
It was a warm day in New York. There was a woman that, so I go out sometimes and I'll serenade people with my portable piano, if you will. It's called a melodica. So I'll go out and I'll play it in the crowd. So I'll go around the theater and do it and whatever I'm at. This one woman decides to get a little eager, if you will, and I kind of was walking in her direction, and I'm going down this slope of stairs, and I'm thinking, okay, she's in the way, but she gonna move. But no, she decided to stay there, and she started grinding and gyrating her hips, and it's on Instagram too. It is. And I didn't know what to do in that moment. Immediately, I was thinking, where's security? Why didn't they come and save me? Because I'm like, this is not, I hired y'all to help me. And clearly, in this moment, you decided not to. And when I tell you, all of my guys that was with me was laughing at me. They still laugh at me to this day about that.
I'm sure it made for viral content.
It sure did. And PTSD for me, but sure. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We'll give security a pass on that. But you mentioned your audience being able to see what they see on their phones in real time, in real life. Have you always known to document your life? We see footage we see the complete transition from baby Kofi to the fade to the front. We've seen the whole evolution.
That's crazy.
So how did that come to be? Have you always known, I'm going to be a star, so I should document this?
No,
How did that happen?
listen, it started early. My mom, when I first was like 4 years old, I was always, like she said, I had the whole church thing set up in my room. I think her thing that she understood is that I just really like talking. I really like just being and doing my thing. So she bought me this Hot Wheels camcorder.
Okay.
And that's what you saw me doing. So at that point, she was actually filming my Netflix special. It was called Kofi's Big Day. I was 4 years old. It never aired Netflix, of course, but it was a beautiful special. But that's what you saw. So I was singing to my favorite album at the time, which was Clay Aiken. I loved Clay Aiken, American Idol. Shout out to Clay. Yeah.
Well, that was such a time. We all used to get
It
together
was
in
a
the living
time.
room to watch American Idol.
Ruben Studdard,
We're dating ourselves.
Jennifer
on that.
Hudson.
That's okay.
Man, y'all missed a good time, man.
Speaking of a good time, one of the first things that was said when you came out here today was, "I like your suit."
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Kofi,
Appreciate it.
you have always been fashionable, and I mean, even from a kid, and we've just seen that continue to evolve. What is your fashion inspiration? Who do you draw from, or is it just, in you?
Now, I mean,
It's not on you, it's in you.
it's not on me. Yeah. Well, I had, I don't know, man. Early on, I had a dance recital for a lot of things, so we always had different costumes to choose from, and the dance instructor, Miss Melanie, would always make it for me, whatever that was. But I did have a chance to choose what I wanted. I don't know where that knack came from, though. I mean, because there's some times where I have a stylist that will just, I just say, hey, you do what you do. I'll rock it. I'll make it work. And
where's Kofi most comfortable? If you wake up, what's the thing that you want to put on? Is
sweatpants,
okay.
hoodie. Yeah. I mean, I like dressing nicely, but I don't. This ain't every day, of course. I'm not just. I don't get up and let me put on my 3-piece suit. No, it's not like that.
I guess I want to ask you, kind of in closing, as we wrap up here, we got about 15 minutes before we start taking questions from the audience, but in the documentary you mentioned, you would be selling yourself short if you gave yourself aspirations or kind of goals to look forward to, which I agree with, the sky is the limit, but what is next for you on the horizon? I know you mentioned touring, but what are some goals that you've set for yourself in 2024?
My goal for 2024, honestly, is to get out of God's way and let him do his thing. That's what it is. How can I know what's next? Honestly, and I really mean that when I say that, because I mean, I'm rooted in my purpose right now. So if I'm rooted in the purpose, that means he's rooted in the plan. As long as I continue doing what I'm doing every day and continuing to give 110%, and if I can't do that, then I'll give 111, because it's not about stopping, it's about raising the bar. But if I can do that, then I can provide every opportunity that I'm dreaming of right now. I got to continue to stay focused. I got to continue to keep the main thing, and that is music, and that is being an astute individual, not only just in my community, but also for the hundreds of thousands of people that are looking at my journey right now that are truly, truly captivated and motivated by it. And I think that's why I don't really set a ceiling, because setting a ceiling is trying to say I can do this thing without him, and I can't. I can't. I'm gonna just follow his words, and I know that ain't the popular thing to say right now, but that's the truth for me. I ain't telling you what to believe in. I'm just telling you what works for me. So I mean, when I've been trusting in him, it's done me well. So I'm gonna keep doing that.
And that's y'all clap for that.
Thank you.
I want to ask you a series of rapid fire questions.
Okay.
And I know you have a hard time giving short answers.
No, I don't. This is a fireside chat. I was chatting.
That's okay. No. So just a couple of quick rapid fire questions.
Let's do
before
it.
we open it up to the audience. And these are kind of fun, kind of like,
Okay.
just to get your personality out.
All right.
First and foremost, again, you are the other kid from Akron. So Akron staples. I know that you've been touring, but when you come back home, what's the first thing you have to do? First place you got to visit? Is there food? Is it a Swenson's Galley Boy? What is it? What do you need?
Not a galley boy. Not a galley boy. Not anymore. It's not that. It's probably double cheeseburger, ketchup only.
From Swenson's?
Yeah, absolutely.
But is that something like your go-to, or like when you come home, what do you like to do?
Yeah, that's one of my go-tos. Swenson's. Oh man, he put me on the spot. See? Oh wow. See, back when I was younger, I always used to. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Swenson's is one. I love Crave. It's one of my favorite spots, and also Alexander Pierce is also one of my favorite go-tos as well.
Okay. Favorite place you've traveled?
Favorite place I've traveled? Oh man, Germany. Went to Germany. I like that place.
Dream collaboration?
Dream collaboration. I just did it. Marsha Ambrosius.
If y'all haven't seen that video on Instagram, it is so powerful. It is so moving. What a moment that was.
Thank you.
I'll give you a chance to speak on it. So it's not part of the rap.
I mean, listen, no, but a dream.
What
honest.
was that moment for you, though? I mean, that was your dream collaboration. Speak on what that moment did for you.
What the moment did initially. So for those that don't know, that is Marsha Ambrosius. Back in 2002, 2001, early 2000s, there was a group called Flowetry. Flowetry created some of the most quintessential, timeless R&B music that this world has ever seen. So 20 years later, a kid named Kofi ends up going viral playing one of these songs in my rendition of it. And it just went viral. It's actually right now officially the second most listened and viewed to version of all time. My version is, and hers is the first. Thank you, man. But the internet caught on, and we did a show actually here in Akron, Ohio, not here, but at the Akron Civic Theater, and it was just a collaboration that honestly kind of broke the internet, but it went very well. Millions of people saw it, and it was pretty cool. But honestly, dream collaboration now that I haven't done would probably be Masego. I want to do something with him, man. That'd be fun. Okay. Or even her, because I love her as well. Okay. So.
Absolutely amazing. And then in closing, before I open it up to you guys who may have questions out there, is there anything on your bucket list?
Anything on my bucket list? I want an Emmy. I want to be like you. I got nominated, but I want one. And I'm going to get it too. So yeah.
I'll lend you one. You get it.
Nah, I want my own. That was, because you got 3 of them. I see what you did there. Woo!
So my question is, when you're in the studio and you're writing songs, creating content, and you get writer's block, how do you work through that?
There's moments that I try to decompress. I get away from music because if you love it enough, it'll always come back to you. So whatever that thought is, whatever that feeling is, it'll always come back to you. There's literally things that I think about, there's moments, or a recent thing that I did was I did an arrangement of Sweet Love. I went from Cheers to Sweet Love. I had that sitting in my drafts since August because I got a call to do the Charlie Wilson show, and I had to kind of drop everything and do that. I was going to never post that. I went back because I had writer's block, and I was like, you know what, let me just go to the drafts. Went through, heard that one again. I was like, ooh, that's actually better than I thought it was. I thought that was trash at first. So I said, you know what, let's rock with that. I tweaked it a little bit, went back into the studio, I edited it, and I released it. And boy, oh boy, that did so great on even on social media. I didn't expect it to. It's like the official hair care song now. Like every black hairstylist is using that as their transition song. I love it though. I love it. And actually it got the stamp of approval from Anita Baker herself. So all I'm saying is hold on to those moments. Let the music come back to you. And I think when that moment comes, you'll be able to do what you got to do.
Amazing. We want to thank you all so much for coming out to Beyond the Keys. As Kofi mentioned earlier, he is touring. He is performing here in Akron tomorrow night at the Akron Civic Theater at 8 p.m. Tickets are still available, so if you want to check him out, Kofi, what's your social media, all that stuff?
At KofiBMusic or KofiBMusic.com. Get your tickets, please. Don't be the type of person to come to the door and be like, where my seat? Because your seat will be in the car. This thing is about to sell out, so I appreciate it.
So again, we thank you all so much for coming out. My name is Kierra, and I've been your host for tonight. Make some noise one last time for Kofi.
Thank you so much. Thank you.